Welcome to Lunch Break, everybody. I am Meredith, and I am not here with Pastor Jay today, but I am here with somebody from the Rice family, Miss Carrie, our director of children. So thanks for being here today.
Thanks for asking me.
I promise no pranks today.
That's good.
I hope if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch last week's Lunch Break.
It was great.
Fantastic, if I do say so myself. But I will tell you that I called Miranda and asked her to come help me with something in the main building. And her response was, wait, are you going to try to scare me with a doll again? So I have to be careful now and preface it with, no, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm being for real. I promise I'm being for real. Can you come help me? So,
although her action was so great, it would be worth doing again.
I agree.
At some point, we should surprise her.
I mean, I'm sure that can be arranged at some point. So anyway, but thanks for being here with me today. I thought that we could talk a little bit about VBS.
Well, you know that's near and dear to my heart.
Yes.
And is right around the corner. I'm not getting nervous, but we have a lot to do, and we have about 3 weeks left.
Okay.
So we're still recruiting some volunteers. We're still getting signups for kids, still working on decorations. But for those of you guys that don't know, it is Egypt. It's all about Joseph's journey from the prison to palace. And it's going to be 9 to 12, kind of a traditional VBS this year. All 5 days. We're going to end in a great party with all kinds of inflatables and lunch with the families. We're really excited. Everybody I have working on it, and we have some incredible volunteers doing amazing work behind the scenes to make it all possible. They're working really hard. We're all crazy excited about it. So turning the auditorium into an Egyptian marketplace, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, I'm excited about it too. Did I hear something? There's been some rumblings about animals, maybe.
There are going to be some animals. We're still working on that. So if anyone out there has any donkeys or goats or even bunnies, ducks, chickens, anything that you'd be willing to let us borrow, that would be great. Because in the marketplace, Mira, there's going to be shops for the kids to visit. So there's a missions tent and a snack tent, crafting booths, but there is an animal courtyard is what it's called. And so we're getting different animals that the kids can come visit and interact with. So right now we have a ball python, which is ours.
Yes.
I'm very excited about that.
Beans.
Her name is Beans. Yes. And she's big and super gentle and wonderful. Nobody will have to touch her if they don't want to, though. So not everyone loves snakes as much as my family does.
Right.
We have a box tortoise or turtle, and we have some bunnies, or at least one rabbit, and some chicks that are coming.
Okay.
So possibly a Great Dane, a very large Great Dane that's going to come and make an appearance.
One named Diesel. Diesel Saunders.
Diesel Saunders, yes. So we're still working out some details there to see if he'd be comfortable for the time, but and a pig as well, I believe.
Oh, yes.
And so it should be a lot of fun. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be wonderful.
So I saw some of the crafts that some of your amazing volunteers did. What kind of crafts are we talking about? I want to know, because I remember at Christmas VBS, there were some pretty amazing crafts.
And there are going to be amazing crafts this time, too. A lot of the VBS is around getting the kids to understand what the Egyptian culture was like so that they can understand what Joseph stepped into and what he, as a Hebrew, was going into a completely different culture, a different country, but honoring God and trying to live faithfully in that. And so the crafts and around Egyptian culture are more than the Israelites or the Hebrews. And so they'll have Egyptian headdresses that they're going to make, or for the girls, different headbands with beads. There's going to be basket weaving. There's brick making, which I'm really excited about because they're going to mix mud and straw and make actual bricks, like the slaves did later. That was after Joseph's time, but we know that story in Egypt.
Still part of the culture, too.
It is. They're going to be making some really cool wrist cuffs, some hieroglyphic necklaces, and there's an embalmer's workshop where they're going to be making kind of like a sample mummy, which they're not embalming anything, but it will look like a cool.
That makes me think of like the fetal pig, dissection.
No, nothing like that. Not that crazy. We go for realistic, but not quite that much. So,
but still, that was a realistic part of their culture.
It was, and they'll they actually learn a little bit about Egyptian culture from every little bit of the VBS. So when they're going to learn about Joseph in like the teaching, even in games outside, or when they visit the animals or any of the booths, all of the volunteers have little scripts that they're going to be talking about to remind them about what they're learning about God, but also teach them about Egyptian culture, which is really cool. Like, I think it's going to be amazing.
Can I go through the booths?
Yes, you can. I want to.
Yeah, I know.
I want to go. I just finished hammering out all of the snacks, and the kids are going to get a snack to try each day that they don't have to eat if they don't want to, and then a snack that is going to be something they'll want to eat.
Right.
So, for example, a snack they may not have ever tried or want to is a date, which that's a brown squishy thing. Like most adults know, that tastes really delicious. It's sweet, but the kids, that might be a weird thing. So it'll just be something for them to try. But then on that day, they might get, my favorite one is called Yummy Mummy Bananas. So it's a banana with white chocolate with little eyes on it. So it'll look like a mummy. So that'll taste really good. They'll like it, but they're also going to get a taste of authentic foods as well. So that was something that they would have eaten back then. So
okay.
Should be good.
So what do you need from us? If you're able to speak to people that watch our lunch break every week, what do you need from us? What can we do to help you?
So I definitely need more volunteers. So that's something, please contact me and see where we can fit in. We need group leaders. We need some decor helpers on June 1st. Gosh, it's coming up fast.
I know.
On June 1st, after that Sunday, will be the bulk of our setting up and decorating day. We're going to be taking down the chairs in the auditorium, and we have to set up all of the marketplace booths, as well as just getting everything in place. We can't do that before that Sunday, but it has to be ready for Monday morning at 9 a.m.
That's right.
So I need a lot of helpers that day.
Those days are always fun.
They are. It's going to be a lot of energy. It's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful.
Anyway,
I'm also setting up with Maggie. I'll send that information out probably later today or tomorrow about we're going to have some crafting days and some prep days. We'll probably have 3, one next week and 2 the week right before VBS. That'll run during the day and in the evenings. So if you work, you can come in the evenings. If you are free during the day and rather that, we have time in that. And that'll just be helping making some fake palm trees or cutting some things out for the crafts, cutting lengths of yarn for the baskets, all kinds of stuff. So lots of little things. You don't need to be an expert in anything, but you can come alongside and help even if you can't be there on VBS days. So that'd be great.
Sounds good. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
I know that you were not feeling so good this weekend because
I
baby
know.
dedication was so sweet.
Well, I was really bummed to miss that, especially just being a part of such a special tradition and, dedicating those kids to the Lord to see them. But I did watch online and seeing all the cute pictures was wonderful, and Jay did a great job with that. But yeah, I was really bummed to be homesick on Mother's Day too.
I know.
But my family did do a great job of catering to me that day. I stayed on the couch, relaxed, and they got me what I needed, and so that was good.
Which is probably part of the reason why you feel better, because they helped take care of you.
They did. They were all sweet about
I have a question. I know I helped Jay pass out the gifts to the families that were up there on Sunday morning, but I didn't look in any of the bags. They were already decorated, the tissue paper and all things. What gifts did you guys give to these families?
So we gave them a gift, or not a gift certificate, a certificate just to commemorate the day, that was something special. But for a gift, we wanted to equip them to do what they were wanting to do in dedicating their children to the Lord. So one of the things, they were books. Those are near and dear to my heart. I love those. But we had a Paul Tripp book called Parenting. And so that's about gospel-driven parenting and basing your parenting on the truths that we see in the gospel. So that's a great book that we'd like everybody to read. But then we also did a baby board book, and it was called We Believe, and it was an ABC primer. And every day was, most of it, all the days were straight scripture. But it was about theological truths, that we believe as Christians. And so I believe heavily in reading lots of scripture to our kids, just to ingrain that. They can absorb it so much more than we can as adults.
Right.
They can memorize it. And then it's also a tool to parents too, because they're reading it, they're memorizing it, they're, being reminded of those truths that hopefully they know. And if they don't, they're learning them alongside of their kids. And it can be even right when they're born, they can start reading books like that. But that's real beneficial all the way up.
Yeah, because memorizing scripture when you're young, I tell my kids this all the time. Like, It's imperative because it's so much harder to memorize scripture now
is.
than it was when I was a kid.
I kind of was in denial of that fact until
Oh,
recently.
it's
We
true,
memorized as a
Brent.
family a new passage together,
Uh-huh.
and I'm still struggling with it. And it's
Uh-huh.
only 4 verses, and the kids are like, "Come on, Mom!" And I'm like,
Right.
"I'm trying.
And
I'm
you're like,
really
I'm smart
trying."
and I'm good at stuff like this, but I can't. I'm just getting older.
It is. It's
so.
harder. It is much harder, and so
is.
that's why doing it when they're younger.
Yes.
Last year when we did the baby dedication, I did a book that had Psalm 23 in there. All of our
sweet.
kids had Psalm 23 memorized probably before they turned 3 because we always had books that we read them straight like every single night.
Right.
And so Elizabeth, you ask her in the foyer, you guys go and say, "Elizabeth, what's Psalm 23?" She should remember. If she doesn't say, "The Lord is my," and then she should be able to rattle off the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Because, and it's just such an important truth to guide her as she grows
Right.
up. And so I
Yeah.
love that. That one I do have memorized,
Yeah.
though.
If she will do it, because you know
If,
she
yeah.
has to be in the mood
That's
to
true.
do what you ask her.
Yeah,
to
she does
do,
not
so.
perform on call.
She does
very
not.
often. No.
She has to be. But when she does, it's the sweetest thing ever. So it's so sweet. But yeah, we missed you last week. So
thanks.
hopefully we can get you up there on stage this week, maybe, and talk a little bit about VBS again. But
Yes, I was thinking we should be in costume today talking about VBS. Maybe
Yeah.
we can do that on Sunday.
okay, I'm up for that always. Absolutely.
That sounds
This Sunday, I had a meeting this morning or earlier this week with our worship team leaders. So Ryan and Jay and Larry and I met, and we talked a little bit about this Sunday, and it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be kind of stripped down, pared down a little bit, but we're going to have a banjo.
Oh.
And some other cool instruments up on stage this week.
That
That's
sounds
the
fun.
plan. So it'll be something a little different because, you know, Ryan's so good at changing it up.
He is.
And so
I've
he's like,
enjoyed
let's
all
do
of that
something
variety.
different.
It's so
I
great,
know,
yeah.
me too. So he's like, let's do a little something different. So we're going to be doing that. Jay is going to be preaching on the creation and why we believe in creation. Why as Christians do we believe in creation? So
That sounds great.
it's going to be a good Sunday. So we hope that you're there. I have to say real quick before we go, shout out to Favi because I talked to her earlier this week and she said, "Oh, you always have your Celsius." But today, my darling children went to Chick-fil-A, which, you know, wasn't a hardship because I've told them if they go together and spend time together, then we'll pay for it. That's my way to get them to spend some time together.
Yeah, that's
It's like,
smart.
if y'all go eat
That's
lunch
great.
together, we'll pay for it. But they did bring me a Dr. Pepper, which is my favorite drink in the entire world.
Chick-fil-A Dr. Peppers.
Chick-fil-A.
They're not the
Dr.
same
Pepper.
other-
They're not
no?
the same as the
McDonald's?
cans.
No?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right.
Chick-fil-A Dr. Pepper. If I was going to have a canned drink, it would be a Coke, a really, really cold Coca-Cola. But Dr.
Chick-fil-A,
Pepper,
All right.
Chick-fil-A. His mom said no Celsius
Celsius.
today. Did you bring a drink?
I didn't
Jay
today.
usually has
I-
his coffee. So
Does
I
he?
didn't know.
Yeah. I have coffee back in the office. I left it to
To come here,
to
yeah.
come here. I should have brought it.
No, that's okay. Listen, he left his cup from last time. He could have just held
Oh.
that because it was gross. It was sitting right here on the table, and he left his cup. But
No, thank you. I'll pass on that one.
okay, I don't blame you. So anyway, all right. Well, I know you were kind of here last minute for me today. We had some little change up and things going on behind the scenes today. So Carrie was so kind to join me today. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and
That's good.
please make sure you reach out to her.
Yes, for
if
sure.
you need, or if you're ready to help with VBS, or just want to be a part of just the getting ready for it and all the prep that goes behind it, because I'm sure she would be glad to have you help. So.
I would.
All right.
Takes a whole
Well,
team.
thanks for being here, and thanks for watching Lunch Break, and we'll see you next week.